You're watching KWQC TV, the news leader, making a difference in the Quad Cities. Live from the Quad Cities, with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel, this is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, we're taking you inside a beloved DeWitt destination where vintage charm meets family tradition. MRA's Antiques and Uniques is celebrating 10 incredible years with a weekend full of deals, raffles, and heartwarming stories. And garden smarter, not harder. Before you grab the shovel, hear what the experts at Nelson Chiropractic have to say. We are sharing simple ways to avoid next day aches and pains. Plus a preview of the upcoming Boozy Book Fair at Wake Brewing in Rock Island, where you can sip local craft beer, meet local authors, and even go on a blind date with a book. That much more coming up. Hello and welcome to Quad Cities Live on this Wednesday, April 30th. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Morgan Otier. Dust off your boots and get ready to two-step because there's a new honky-tonk in town. It's called Late Rider, and it's opening its doors soon in downtown Moline, promising country music, dancing, of course, and a truly one-of-a-kind atmosphere in the QC. Joining us with a behind-the-scenes look at the space is our own Kyle Keel. He's live with us this afternoon, and Kyle, it is quite a transformation.
Yeah, it certainly is. This, of course, in the old analog spot here in downtown Moline, and it's Bummer City take on a country western bar here in the Quad Cities. So opening day is coming up this Friday. So very exciting times here in downtown Moline. And joining me now is Dan Bush with Bummer City. Dan, thanks for having us down today.
Thanks for coming down.
Yes, you know, a couple of months ago when you were on the show, you were talking about how this has been one of your more exciting projects that you've done with Bummer City. Why is that?
Well, I mean, the building is just so grand. You know, when we bought it 6 years ago to build Analog here, the first thing we thought of was this would be a really great country western bar, and now we actually got to do it. So it's been really cool to see it transform so quickly.
And, you know, you mentioned that this isn't going to be, I guess, your traditional country bar that maybe people are thinking. This is Bummer City's take on it. So what's going to make it different from maybe the traditional one?
Well, we have a lot going on. You know, we took a lot of inspiration from West Texas, from Nashville, places like that. But we like to put our own spin on things. So there's a lot happening. I mean, we have some arcades over here. We have a dance floor. We have a stage for live music, which we'll be having every Thursday from 6 to 9. Okay. We have pool over here. We have a full menu, full bar, and just 2 floors in the patio just make it really kind of grand and big. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, we're going to get a look at the patio area during the weather coming up, and we're also going to talk more about the food and beverage items as well. But the one thing with Bummer City Hangouts is that each spot there's something different, and this is sure to be something different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the decor really kind of sets this place apart. I drove to Southern Illinois to get these old beer signs, which was a fun project. And then we had family and friends donate a bunch of taxidermy for us to hold on to. So it's got a unique look, and we're just excited for people to see it.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people might be excited for the line dancing. You said that you got the stage over here. So how often will you be having these line dances? Is it an every night thing, just special occasions?
Yeah, so we're actually going to have line dance lessons starting in June on Friday nights from 7 to 9. But the live music on Thursday starts right away. So next week, we'll have our first artist, Scott Stowe, who's one of the best cover artists in the area. Yeah. He'll be kicking it off for us. So we're excited to have him be the first on stage.
All right, so you mentioned next week you're going to be open. You're open to the public here starting on Friday. So what are the hours going to be here heading into the weekend?
So we're doing limited hours just to kind of work out the kinks. And we're also, we're calling it a sneak peek weekend. So we're still working out our menu, looking for feedback at this time. So we're just going to open it on Friday and Saturday at 4 p.m. till about midnight or 1, you know. And then next week, we're hoping to start our regular hours, which will start on Wednesday at 4.
Okay, 4 o'clock until what time?
Until probably 11 or midnight during the week. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we'll be open from 11 a.m. until 1 a.m.
Okay, all right, so we'll have to stay tuned for that. So when you first made this announcement that you're kind of, the sun was setting on Analog, got a lot of feedback. We're talking about a lot of people, you know, the older millennials, I guess. Sad to see it go, but there was a lot of buzz about the country western coming back to town. What's been the feedback here that you've heard so far?
You know, actually, I don't read any comments.
Oh,
it's a
smart man.
It's a personal rule I have. So I kind of live in my own oblivious world, just so we can stay focused. You know, this was a very tight timeline. We only shut down. I mean, we shut down Analog a month ago. So we only had 4 weeks to completely transform the space, and the less distractions, the better. So yeah, I keep my head down and just focus on what we can.
Gosh, I got to take lessons from you. That's actually a smart move, and it seems to be working with you with all the other Bummer City hangouts that you have here in town. So again, Late Rider is going to be opening up a little bit later this week, Friday at 5, you said?
Friday at 4.
Friday at 4. So you want to hang out down here Friday at 4. And of course, next week they will be reopening for their business hours. And coming up in the next half hour of Quad Cities Live, we're going to talk more about some of the special menu items, food and drink that you can expect here. And coming up during weather, we'll get a sneak peek at that outdoor space as well. For Quad Cities Live in downtown Moline, I'm Kyle Keel. We'll send it back to you, Morgan.
All right, looks great, Kyle. Thank you. Nestled in the heart of downtown DeWitt, Emma Ray's Antiques and Uniques has spent the last decade growing from a family dream into a Midwest destination for antique lovers and treasure hunters alike. What began with just 12 vendors in 2015 has flourished into a vibrant, expanding marketplace with more than 115 vendors offering everything from antiques and collectibles, of course, to handmade soaps, vintage toys. Here with details on this weekend's Cheers to 10 Years anniversary celebration is Tracy Nissen. Tracy, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is so exciting for all of you in the family. This is a family business. So yes, take us back to the beginning. How did the idea for Emma Ray's Antiques and Uniques come about in the first place?
Well, my father, Ted, retired, and we decided to have a building in downtown came available, and we thought having a vendor placed for 1 million different people to have their own businesses under one roof would be something fun to do.
Well, yeah, and is that something that your parents had always been interested in, antiques or collectibles, or is that just, you know, just an idea that they had?
We, from time to time, would go to flea markets and, you know, different malls around the area, and the building that came up for sale was just perfect.
Perfect for this.
Yeah.
Okay, we're looking at this really sweet photo on the screen right now. So tell us a little bit about it, because this is actually what inspired the name, correct?
Yes. So Emma Ray is my daughter.
Okay.
It was named after their first granddaughter.
Cute.
Yeah, so in 2015, and we started it with 12 vendors and are now at 115.
That is wonderful. So 10 years ago, do you remember what it was like to get started on a small business? We are so lucky here in the Quad Cities that we have, you know, so many different small businesses varying. I mean, beyond antiques, just all kinds. But those first, you know, few months and few years, I mean, they can be tough. Do you remember those times at all? And did you see yourself then where you all are now?
No, it was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You know, starting with 12 vendors. You have a huge shop and you walk into it and it's almost empty.
It feels empty. Yeah.
Just getting everybody that comes in, you know, to see what you have and learn how you're going to be and what kind of, you know, what kind of store you're going to run makes a difference.
Well, obviously it does. So as we already talked about, you went from that 12 to more than 100 vendors. Talk about that growth over the last decade, and you know what it's been like curating those vendors and finding them. And not only that, but you have a very low vendor turnout rate as well. Turnover rate.
Vendors we get from all over the Midwest, and I think just great customer service. Being friendly, you know, in a small town that all puts together people like that feel.
Yeah.
We do as much as we can for the vendors to help them sell and to keep their businesses going as well as ours. If they're not making sales, we're not either. So we really want everybody to be happy.
That's great. Yeah.
And we have vendors from all over. Anywhere from Cuba City, Wisconsin to Cambridge, Illinois to Galesburg.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yes. So, and you have everything there. Absolutely everything.
A little bit of everything.
You really
for
do.
Everyone.
Antiques and collectibles, which we're seeing photos on the screen right now. But you also sell handmade items. So it really doesn't, like, it includes people who are kind of small business owners themselves.
Yes, we do like to have our antiques and our mid-century modern and our fancy glass, and then on top of it we do like to have our sewers and the handmade soaps and the candles to put a spin on it, make it unique. That isn't our name, Emma Ray's Antiques and Uniques, so we do like to have some of the unique items as well.
Yes, you have it all. Okay, and you've recently expanded into some furniture consignment, which is very cool.
Yes, so we've had a couple expansions over the year. Our last one was furniture consignment.
That's great.
We are recently going to expand into that area. We have such a large waiting list. We are going to expand it with new vendors.
That's
so
great.
It won't be all before our big event this weekend.
No.
But
it's on the
over the next
horizon.
month or so, we would like to expand the rest.
That is wonderful. So something to look forward to. Okay, so this weekend, it's a big 10 years celebration. Cheers to 10 years. You guys have been around for a decade. So what can people expect? Everything starts on Friday.
Everything starts Friday, 9:30 to 6 on Friday. Saturday is 10 to 5, and Sunday is 11:30 to 4.
Okay.
We'll have everything from treats to amazing sales throughout the store.
Yeah.
We've got great raffles. This is just a small portion of the raffles that we have to offer. One even has Cubs tickets for a June game in there. Yes, and
I'll be taking this with me. No, I'm just kidding.
all of these are donated items from our vendors in the store.
That just shows how much they really appreciate all of you at Emma Ray's to be able to do that and put together these baskets. Okay, so if I'm showing up this weekend and I want to be part of one of these raffles, which these are beautiful, beautiful baskets. I mean, we've got some lawn items in this one. We've got some Iowa Hawkeye gear in this one. Of course, you have the Cubs one over there. Really, really cool stuff. So how can I make sure as a customer that I am maybe in the running to win one of these?
Come in, hang out with us, have a snack, make a small purchase, and you can get your name into a raffle drawing and have a chance to win any of these baskets.
Well, that's easy. All you have to do is buy something at a store that you went to
that
buy
you love.
something. Yes, absolutely. You're going to have some special guests showing up throughout the weekend as well, including a local author.
Yes. We will have our local Iowa author, Bob Banks. He is from Bluegrass. He is a vendor with us, and he has wrote a few new books, and he wants to present them, and he'll be there to sign them. Yeah, and just to enjoy it with us.
That's great.
And then Sunday, we will have a duo friend coming in, Faded Fortune.
They are going music.
Yes, so we'll have a little bit of music back by our new opening where we're going to put in our new vendors. So Faded Fortune will be there. It's their first time out together. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, come and see them.
Exciting. Yes, come and support them. Local music as well. Okay, so what have these 10 years meant to you and your family? I mean, if there's other families that are watching, or maybe some folks that are set to retire, but they don't really want to stop doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, what has all of this meant to you and your daughter and your family?
It's hopefully to keep going in the future. Hopefully, you know, one of my children will want to take it over.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to keep going. It provides a beautiful space for our downtown. DeWitt's beautiful anyway. Just to be involved in the community, and it's just fun. Talking to all those people and everybody that we get from all over the U.S.
It's been
nice.
fun. Yeah, it is quite the destination for a lot of folks to stop by. Well, that's awesome. The Cheers to 10 Years anniversary celebration is set for this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Emma Ray's in DeWitt. You can find the business online as well at emmarays.com. And there is a Facebook page that I saw this morning where you can stay up to date on all kinds of events and promotions at the shop. Tracy, thank you so much, and to your entire family, big congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you. Still to come, the Kentucky Derby is galloping into Rock Island as the Hauberg Estate is hosting a Derby Day celebration. We'll get a preview of the festivities and the special cause it supports.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
It's known as the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, and this year the spirit of the Kentucky Derby is coming to Rock Island for the first time ever. The historic Hauberg Estate is hosting its own Kentucky Derby Day, complete with fancy hats, signature cocktails, and a cause that ties all of it together. Here to tell us about this can't-miss event is Executive Director Deb Kunze. Deb, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. This is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yes, it is. Just a few days away now. It's the first ever Kentucky Derby Day at the Hauberg. So talk about it. How did this idea come about?
I don't know. I mean, I like hats.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
right? Should have been doing it all along.
Yeah, I like hats, and you know, the bar opened up. You know, the Hauberg Carriage House bar opened up, and you know, I ordered all the mint and julep cups, and
now you have to do it.
Well, now we have to do it. Yeah.
Now you have to do it. No, I mean, that's a good point. I feel like now that the Carriage House bar space has been opened up, it just only feels natural to start thinking of all of these extra really cool events that you can do. So this is all happening on Saturday on Derby Day. So as guests arrive to the Carriage House space, what happens next? I mean, what can they expect?
Well, the hat auction actually ends on Friday, so so people can wear their hats on Saturday.
Okay.
And we have quite a selection. We have the men's hats, which is, this one's going like hotcakes right now on the bidding because it's the Grateful Dead. And this is called Boston Scally.
Oh,
And
wait,
yeah.
let me
So
pick
look,
it up.
yeah.
Okay.
See, look.
So I didn't know what you were talking about, but
Yeah.
okay, so it's here, and then once you flip it over, you've got the
Yeah.
Grateful Dead on the
Yeah.
underneath here.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. Okay, so this is the men's hat, and
Yep.
it's up for silent auction right now. And then, I mean, obviously, let's talk about the ladies.
Oh, we got a
roughly-
lot more ladies hats. We
Roughly-
have 3 men's hats, but the rest of them are all ladies hats, and a lot of them have come from a millinery in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, really pretty hats.
Yeah.
Very pretty hats.
This is beautiful. The material feels amazing, like
Oh,
an
yeah.
organza or something like that. I mean, it's gorgeous. So roughly how many of these do you have for people to bid on, roughly?
I bought crazy amount this time. Probably about 10.
10. That's awesome. So there will be 10 people that show up on Saturday with a brand new derby hat.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
that all ends on Friday. So if I want to go and try and bid on one of these hats,
Friday from 1 to 8.
okay, Friday from 1 to 8. Wonderful.
yeah.
Okay, so what else can we expect when we show up on Saturday? Roughly what time can we start arriving?
1 o'clock.
Okay,
So
perfect.
it's from 1 to 7.
Okay,
We're going to have a taco bar.
perfect.
And
We are
it's-
preparing for Cinco de Mayo, so you guys are really, you're really
yeah,
putting it.
it's like everybody likes a taco bar. Somebody had said, "Oh, Kentucky Derby, why are you having tacos?" Because everybody.
'Cause you can't go wrong with
Everybody
tacos.
likes tacos. Everybody does.
Yeah.
And we also have a musician, live music.
Okay.
We have a 50-50 raffle.
Okay,
And
wonderful.
Yep, and then all of this benefits our formal rose garden. We've almost raised all of the funds. We also have a fill the jar.
Okay.
So our bartenders through the whole year donate their tips.
Are you kidding
For a
me?
project.
That just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
You
for
gotta
a
be-
project. Yeah, well they also work free and then they donate all their tips.
Oh my gosh.
So after Kentucky Derby Day, we are going to count. Actually, Mary Bain, who is one of our volunteer bartenders and worked for the bank, loves to count money.
I bet.
So she will sit there and count it all, and that also goes towards the formal rose garden. So we do a final, fill the jar.
Yeah.
And that all goes towards it too.
Okay, and for people that don't get how this just comes together so beautifully, right? The Kentucky Derby is what the Run for the Roses.
Yes.
And this is all benefiting the Rose Garden at the
Rose
Hauberg.
Garden.
Okay, so tell us about the Rose Garden, because for folks that aren't familiar, what are you trying to do with that, and why do you need fundraising for that?
So the Rose Garden actually has a pergola, and it has 4 brick pillars
Okay.
on it. It goes across the total backyard. It's like 31 feet long.
Okay.
And
It's not small.
No, it isn't. Well, it's not a small estate.
No, it's not.
So there would be a brick sidewalk, and then also it goes underneath the pergola. And then also we have already ordered our roses, and our roses are all 1910 and earlier.
Wow.
And a lot of them are French.
Oh my
A lot of the
gosh.
French roses. We've partnered with the Master Gardeners from Illinois Extension,
Wonderful.
and they will be helping us with the rose garden.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's basically we're restoring it back to its what it looked like.
Original glory.
yeah.
And can you give us a little bit of history with that? The lady of the house, I mean, this was her
Suzanne?
project,
Yep.
correct?
Oh yeah, Suzanne Denkman. Actually, it was her vision.
Okay.
The whole estate was her vision.
Okay.
Yes, it's called the Hauberg Estate, but she didn't marry John until 1911, and she started on the estate in 1908.
Okay.
So
About
this
the age
was-
of those roses.
Yes, definitely, definitely. It was in the Jens Jensen design, who he was the landscape architect.
Yes.
And he really didn't like roses. He didn't like formal
love
rose
this story.
gardens. Yeah,
I
he
love
didn't like
this.
formal rose gardens because they were just, everything was way too formal. He likes native, he liked all that, but all the women in that era love their rose gardens.
Yes, and this is a very special and unique part of the entire estate because of that. Because I feel like I'm starting to become a little bit of an expert on your landscaping architect. He's very famed at this point, and we know there's all the native plants and flowers all over the estate. I mean, you guys have your native plant sale every year.
Yep, that's coming up.
So that's his thing, but this was her thing. And,
this was her thing.
And I love that, how that all comes together.
Yeah.
So this is very exciting. Also exciting is this is not a ticketed event.
Nope.
So you can just show up and enjoy yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
That
Sit
is-
outside. It's supposed to be a beautiful day on Saturday.
We have heard. Otherwise, Kyle will be getting a hard time right now because that's a big day for a lot of people. Okay, well, we got the information on the screen. It's the Day of Derby Fun at the Carriage House Bar on the Hauberg Estate. It will take place this Saturday, May 3rd, of course, from 1 to 7 p.m. Again, no tickets, no reservations required. I have a feeling this might be an annual thing.
Oh yes,
after
absolutely.
this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, Deb, thank you.
Thank
so much
you.
for being here. Absolutely. Well, still to come on QCL, spring is here, if you haven't heard. And so is yard work. Nelson Chiropractic will join us with tips to prevent post-gardening soreness next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Spring yard work can be rewarding, but not if your body is feeling sore and uncomfortable the next day. And there are ways to protect your back, your neck, and your shoulders, whether you're mowing the lawn, pulling weeds, or planting flowers. Here to help is Dr. Tracy Nelson from Nelson Chiropractic. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. I love this topic for today.
Yep.
This is perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yes, because we've always been told around here, like, it's time to start getting in the garden around Mother's Day, which is coming up here in like a week and a half. Okay, so let's get started. The first point that you're going to tell us about, kind of similar to exercise.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to warm up before you get out there.
Yeah, you don't want to jump out of bed, run outside, and start doing things. Just get warm, get loose, organize yourself a little bit, move around some.
Yeah.
Stretch a little bit and just kind of plan out, your attack of the whole, yard and what you have to do. And you really just want to jump around and do different things and don't do one thing for 2 hours and then can go to the next.
All right, so treat it like you're doing some exercise. Do some shoulder rolls and some neck circles. And I like your idea about just walking around the yard first and kind of getting the blood flowing a little bit. It's also just a good idea for yard work in general because you get the lay of the land, literally, and you know what you're going to be, working on out there. Using the right tools is another one, which is not something that I really would have thought of, but this makes a big difference.
Yeah, a lot of times if your tools are not sharp, right, hedge clippers.
Sure.
I see a lot of injuries with those every year because they're either not sharp,
or they're too
but then they just are lazy and they might be on a ladder or something and they'll just reach further than they should, and it really strains your upper back, your low back, your shoulders, your wrists. So just kind of keeping everything like right here, move your body and do those things instead of, reaching and leaning.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also when you think of your yard, like for example, I have planter boxes under my windows, but they're very high. Like I do need like a ladder or something to get to them. So like when you're purchasing tools for yard work, like keep that in mind. Like, you need a longer tool if and all of that. What about, you also suggest like knee pads?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be doing some intricate work, right, and you're going to be down on the ground, you can get inflammation in your knees and, tendonitis. So if you're going to be like, crawling around and things like that, like preventing injury, because there could be rocks, there could be, little pieces of who knows what there that could hurt your knees. So just wearing the right outfit.
That's a good idea.
And protection. Yeah.
Okay, so practicing smart body mechanics. So this is, really where we need you. The first one being lift with your legs, not your back.
Yes, it's squatting down, stick your booty out. Like that's how we lift things, and it doesn't matter that it's something light, even a light yard bag or something, if you do that all day, could hurt you if you're doing it wrong.
Could really hurt your lower back.
Yeah,
I can
squat and just lift up.
Literally feel it as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Switching sides frequently and avoiding twisting.
Yeah, so a lot of times if we're raking or even sweeping out the garage, so just going like this all day, even shoveling snow sometimes we do that.
Yeah, you're right.
But like just that same motion, you have to alternate, right? And just rake this way, that kind of thing. We get really, really torqued up when we do that.
Yeah, and I love that you bring it up because I think a lot of people would think, oh my gosh, that's not a big deal. That's not something I have to think about. But obviously, I mean, you see it all the time, so we do. And keeping your neck in a neutral position as well, which can be very difficult, especially if you're just like leaning over and planting or something for a long period of time, which kind of brings us to your next point, which is breaking it up, break the work up. This is going to be so hard for people, right? Because you get started on something and you are like, I'm finishing this, this one project. You say bounce around.
Yeah, so working on planting things, working on trimming things up high, then working down low just for a little bit till your legs get tired of squatting, and then go to the next thing, and then rake something, and then bag up something. Like moving around is going to really make a huge difference.
Okay, roughly how much time would you say is too much time to spend on something? Like when should we be considering moving on to another project for a little bit?
When you feel it.
Okay.
Like when you start to get tired and you feel like maybe your mechanics are, you know, hurting you a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea. So change your tasks, also to avoid using like the same muscles over and over again. So if that's something that you're feeling, well, don't go do something that's just like the thing that you were doing before. Stretching and cooling down after.
Yeah, a lot of times we'll, on a hot day especially, we'll be done, we'll take a shower, and we'll just collapse, right? And then you can't move, you know, and I see that often on a Monday after people have been doing that. So just like kind of cooling down as well and stretching a little bit, and then just don't stay stationary afterwards. You kind of get up and start to stretch a little bit after, and it's a lot of times like the back of our legs, which affects low back and things like that. So stretching those major muscle groups a little bit after is helpful.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And honestly, I mean, I'm somebody who forgets to stretch after I go for a run. So I think we could all use the reminder to do that. So things that we should focus on when we stretch and strengthen. So something to build on is core, which that can take some time.
Yeah, so stabilizing your core when you're lifting and just sucking your belly button in when you're lifting is going to protect that. So I think that's the biggest point with
That's a good way to remember it, sucking your belly button. Okay, building your balance, stretching those shoulders and those hamstrings. I think the big takeaway with that too is like maybe just like go on a little walk or something. Like just get in the shower, but just, you know, move your body a little bit at least. Okay, and the big point to take away today, a little soreness is going to be okay. When should people like 100% be giving you a call?
So again, we haven't done this since like last year, right? So it's just these chores that only, you know, bother us once a year. So you're going to be a little bit sore, but if it continues to get worse or not improve, right? Like we know what soreness is, and then it gets a little bit better and a little bit better. But if it's a sharp pain and you feel like you're walking crooked, that's usually what I see is people are like, can't stand up straight. That's when we need to check you out.
Absolutely. Or if you are just uncomfortable in what should be a comfortable position.
Right.
You know, in bed or seated or something like that, give her a call. Okay, well, if you do need to contact Nelson Chiropractic about your aches and pains, you can call them at the number on your screen, 563-359-9541. You can also request an appointment online. It is very easy. Just head to nelsonchiropractic.com. And Dr. Tracy Nelson, always good advice and tips. Thank you so much for being here.
Get to work, everybody.
Yes, get to work. Seriously, you're preaching to the choir. Still to come in our second half hour, the Boozy Book Fair at Wake Brewing with local authors, quirky book booths, food trucks, a library on wheels. They got it all. And Late Rider is boot scooting into Moline this week. We are getting an up-close live look at this brand new honky tonk, ready to open its doors for a sneak peek this weekend. But first, our 60-degree days are about to warm up a little bit. Meteorologist Kyle Keel will join us with your full forecast next.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
Welcome back to Quad Cities Live. I'm live here in downtown Moline at the new Late Rider, which is opening up later this week. And we're actually outside on the new patio area, which is a very nice scenic area here in downtown Moline. So if you want to enjoy your food and beverage outside, you'll have the opportunity to do that. Today, probably not the best. We actually have the sun peeking out right now, and it's kind of mixed with a little mist as well. It's kind of one of those annoying mists, but a little bit later on, we're going to see some rain move through. And so for allergy sufferers and farmers, this rain is going to be good news. And the best news of all is we're not anticipating any severe weather. In fact, no severe weather expected here locally. As we take a look at our Everywhere camera network, we see the clouds across the area. They're especially thick around the Burlington area, but we've seen some peaks of sun here and there in the metro. But overall, it's been a mostly cloudy sky here today after a actually pretty decent sunrise. But as we take a look at First Alert Live Doppler radar, we are going to notice that, yes, we do have some rain out there. Very light, spotty rain. Again, a lot of that mist, which falls in the lower levels of the cloud, that's not really showing up. But when we take a wider view here of satellite and radar, you will notice it's very, very active here in portions of southern Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana. That's where we have some severe weather. In fact, near that warm front around the St. Louis area into southern Illinois, that's actually where they do have the threat for maybe a few severe storms with tornadoes. But here locally, as that low pressure drives to the north, it's going to bring in more moisture, but no severe weather is expected. So that's the good news here as we head into the overnight hours. As we look at the next 24 hours, our temperatures here tonight, they only drop to the mid 50s. So with the clouds and the rain around, it will be a mild night. And then tomorrow, yes, we'll see some scattered showers in the morning, probably dry for a good part of the day, but 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, could see a few more scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, but it's not going to be a complete washout here as we head into Thursday. So let's go ahead and take a look at Exact Track to time out the rain for you. Again, most of that rain east of the Quad Cities here this afternoon. Couple spotty showers this evening, but really it's when you're sleeping that most of the heavier rain is going to track through. Looks like some of our Illinois hometowns over toward Galesburg, Monmouth, Kewanee, Galva, Princeton. You could experience some of the heavier rainfall here heading into the overnight. You wake up tomorrow morning, most of that steady rain is over with, and we'll be left with a mostly cloudy sky. Couple scattered showers here as we head throughout the morning hours. And then heading into the afternoon, we'll see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms pop up. There could be some thunder and lightning with these, but no severe weather is expected. And we're going to continue with the chance for scattered showers and isolated storms here as we head through the evening hours. We'll dry out overnight, and then a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected here as we head into the day on your Friday. So we'll take a look at that 7-day forecast coming up on the news at 4, because as Morgan mentioned, we're going to say goodbye to these 60s and actually see some 80s, 70s and 80s return just in time for that weekend. But in the meantime, the next couple of days, have the umbrella handy and just be prepared for off and on rain showers and maybe even a few storms. But hey, we can be rest assured that there's not going to be any severe weather. Morgan?
Still to come on QCL, books, beer, and blind dates. We'll get a sneak peek at the Boozy Book Fair with local authors and unique vendors. More on this fun event next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
A love of literature and craft beer are coming together for a fun and unique afternoon. The Boozy Book Fair is happening Saturday, May 10th from noon to 4 p.m. at Wake Brewing in Rock Island. Rain or shine, the spacious outdoor patio will transform into a pop-up marketplace of books and brews. Joining me today is Debbie Davis from Wake Brewing with a little tickle in her throat, of course, because we got allergy season upon us. You're fine. You know what? We can crack these beers if that'll help. And we've got Nikki Steinbaugh, the creator of Macabre Librarian, with us, which I'm so excited to have you on the show today because you're just like, I can't wait for people to hear about your super cool thing that you started. So Debbie, Wake Brewing, it is now in its 7th year.
Yeah.
So tell us just a little bit more about the business and really the space where we're going to be having all the fun.
Sure. So we're going to be out on the patio, and we move all of the picnic tables out so then all of the vendors can move their tents in.
Wonderful.
And we'll have room for our food truck and the Rock Island Library bookmobile as well.
I love it. Very cool. And we're seeing photos right now of not only some of your canned beers, but we just saw a photo of your beautiful patio space. And she brought a beer with her today, and I'm not going to make her talk too much about it right now because she's probably going to start coughing.
No, it's fine.
Blueberry sleaze cake with like the coolest art on it. So what kind of beer is this?
So it's a fruited pastry sour.
Okay.
That we make about, excuse me, every other year. and a little bit of milk sugar, a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of graham cracker,
yeah.
and a little bit of vanilla too.
Yes, it definitely tastes like dessert in the form of a beer. It's delicious. So this is something that's available. And Nikki, I mean, I really like pumped this up when I introduced you. Tell us all about the Macabre Librarian and what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I come from a used book selling background.
Yeah.
The Macabre Librarian is kind of, when I started to do my own thing, I thought, what do people want? And this is what I took from my background, is the blind date with a book thing. Yes. People really just responded well to that because it kind of nudges them, you know, out of their comfort zone when it comes to reading. And it's just this really cool tool that independent booksellers have in the age of Amazon to like draw people to a personalized experience when they're shopping for books.
Okay, very cool. And as the camera is kind of panning down right now into your whole setup here today, we're going to be able to see what one of your blind dates with a book looks like. And that's this one right here. It's wrapped in some black packaging. And there's always like a little bit of a description that's right on the front so that people can decide if that might be something that they would want to read about. Like, let's say they're into true crime, let's say they're into memoirs. That's where you're going to know if this is maybe a book that you'd want to go on a quote date with. So it's very cool. So you are going to be part of this event.
Yes.
And people are going to be able to stop by. You'll be a vendor there, and they'll be able to check out all kinds of blind date with the book.
Yes, we'll have our full selection of blind dates with the book, everything from cookbooks to oddities and curiosities to, like you said, true crime, horror, romance too.
Yes.
We do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. That's our expertise, is matching you up with the right
very
book.
cool. And because we have you here and you are one of the vendors that's going to be there next weekend, I got to ask, like, how do you choose the titles that you want to put these together? You know, I'm sure the response is always great.
It's been just a lot of experience in book selling. Like, there's no replacement for handling thousands of books and talking to hundreds of people about what they love to read. So I try to take that, and I try to take feedback from my customers as well.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. And Debbie, if you would, what kind of inspired the idea for a boozy book fair? We have so many really great events in the community where we do collaborate, whether it's food and craft beer, no matter what it is. Why did you think, you know what, we want to get some of our, our readers into this, some of our literature folks?
Well, she was actually the inspiration
I love it.
behind the idea, and she came to me with it. We started planning at Wake. Every other month we do like a book party is what I call it, instead of a book club. So where we don't all have to read the same book. We don't even have to be finished with the book. It's just we all gather together and
talk
read.
about it. Yeah.
Because in working at craft breweries over the past couple of decades, I've seen people come in and just read in the environment.
Yeah.
So the Venn diagram of readers and craft beer drinkers is definitely
overlaps.
there. Yeah, the overlap is there, and so I think all of us probably remember going to the Scholastic Book Fair every year and how exciting it was. And I was like, let's do that for grown-ups.
Yes.
Let's do it outside at a brewery. Let's get some pizza and some libraries and some authors.
What a beautiful idea.
And it's coming together really well.
It sounds like it. And I'm glad you mentioned pizza, because you guys are going to have the Wolf It Down, the food truck that is there. And you have more than a dozen vendors that are participating. And they kind of all have their thing. So, I mean, you have your blind date with a book going on, but we've got all kinds of other vendors that are going to be part of this as well. But everybody kind of has that little bit of a tie-in, that literature tie-in.
Yeah, and that's everyone that we've talked to, like Dust Stitch. They do custom flannels, and they specialize in different things like horror. And for this particular one, I was like, can you do all book-related shirts? And they're like, absolutely. So a lot of the vendors are customizing their selections for this event specifically.
Very cool. And before I let you go, I want to tell people this is an all-ages event. So if you've got the kiddos on the weekend, don't let that keep you away. And as you already mentioned, the Rock Island Library's Bookmobile is going to be there, which is just wow, the kids love that.
I know, it's going to be cool. And they're going to bring like yard games for people to interact with. And so I think it's going to be a really cool event.
It sounds like it's going to be a fabulous event. It is the Boozy Book Fair, and it's set for Saturday, May 10th, rain or shine, just in time actually to pick up something for Mother's Day, which is the next day. Again, this is an all-ages event with more than a dozen vendors along with beer and food for purchase. Debbie and Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about it. I have a feeling you guys are going to just keep doing stuff like this. It's going going to be
yeah.
popular.
Yeah, I think it's going to grow.
Reading is having its moment right now.
It
So
really
it's great.
is. It absolutely is. All right, well, thank you. And still to come on QCL, Kyle Keel is joining us live with a behind-the-scenes look at the area's first ever honky tonk. Get a look at the new Late Rider next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
The Quad City's very own Country Bar is getting ready to open its doors, transforming in very little time, might I add, from an arcade into a honky-tonk called Late Rider. Our own Kyle Keel is joining us live with a look at some of those changes. And Kyle, the public is invited to get a sneak peek this coming weekend.
Yes, Morgan, we are getting the exclusive sneak peek here at Late Rider, and you're going to have a chance to get a sneak peek as well coming up this Friday. And, you know, we talked a lot last hour about some of the things that are going to be happening here at Late Rider, including live music every week as well as line dancing. So, you know, listening to live music, doing some line dancing, you're going to work up an appetite. So we got to talk about some of the food and drinks. So Dan Bush with Bummer City is joining us once again. And I wanted to touch on that line dancing real quick, Dan, because you and I were talking off camera. There's really not a place in the Metro Quad Cities. We've got a place in Wilton and Fulton where we can go learn line dancing, but we don't really have that here, but that's about to change.
Yeah, a lot of people from the Quad Cities are used to driving outside the area to fill that need. And so we thought, hey, if there's something in your own backyard, especially if it's something that you're interested in, TikTok has really blown up line dancing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just gone viral over and over and over again. And so, yeah, you can bring your camera, set it up on a table, and go viral here.
Hey, there you go. Your next viral video right here at Late Rider in downtown Moline. So Friday at 4,
Yes.
4 until midnight. That's when you're open. So we got to talk about some of the menu items. Now, you know, Dan, we have on every month to talk about all the specials happening at each Bummer City location. So each menu is unique to the location. So what do we got here trying today?
Well, we were kind of inspired by country fair food, like food truck food.
Yeah.
And so this is a hand-breaded chicken sandwich. This is our hot honey chicken.
Look at that.
Hand-breaded chicken, onion tanglers, so that's fried onions, pickled tomatoes, and then something we're calling slaw sauce on a brioche bun.
Okay.
It's got some sweet, it's got some kick, it's got a lot of different flavors on it. So I'm really excited for people to dig into this one. And then this is our loaded steak fries.
Okay.
So we grill up steak. We have queso on it, shredded cheese, pico, onions, and jalapenos. So is it a meal or a snack? I don't know. It could be shareable, or you could just decide to order that at 10 p.m. and have some fun.
All right, I'm going to have to dig into this chicken sandwich. So while I do that, talk about how this is more of a limited menu item, because you want to make this convenient here in downtown Moline. And I'm going to hand you the mic.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially for Mark shows, it's very hard to find a place to get a quick bite to eat before a Mark show. You know, a lot of the waits at the restaurants are about 2 hours long. And so we wanted to make a place that could give you a really fast food in a casual environment. So we have seating for almost 200 people inside and out. Was it good? I should have brought napkins.
This is so good.
But yeah, so we want something that's super fast. And so we're trying to set up our kitchen to get food in your hands as quickly as possible, really anywhere in downtown Moline.
All right. So yeah, we'll try not to make a mess of the microphone here, but yeah, you know, you're talking fast, convenient, but also good quality food, because you were mentioning you can have your own pork tenderloin here as well.
Yeah, pork tenderloin, it's a county fair staple.
Yeah.
And so I think the big difference is we are hand breading our own pork tenderloins here. It's probably my favorite menu item, but also just making all of our own sauces. I think that's such a key differentiator, and that's something we take a lot of pride in. So it really will be unique to other places.
Okay, and just so Claire knows, I lost IFB, but I think I heard her say 30. So talk real quick about a couple of these drinks you have here.
So this is our spin on the ranch water. It's called This Ain't Texas, and it's got cucumber vodka, and it's got a lime salted rim, just to give it a little bit of a different differentiator. That's our whiskey peach smash. It's got wild turkey, our own mint syrup, and then peach puree, and then a little bit of lemon. So these are great light summer drinks, and we'll be rolling out different seasonal cocktail menus throughout the year.
Yeah, very light, very refreshing, this peach one. I am a huge fan of that. So come check out Late Rider this Friday, 4 until midnight.